Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. As you may or may not know, Kiesel just launched their new website, which has a new guitar builder on it, and it's actually really cool. It's still in beta form, but it functions really well, and it has a lot of great features on it. So let's go ahead and check it out together, and I'm literally ordering my first Kiesel guitar in this video right now, so I'm kind of excited, and I'm glad to share this experience with you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Here's where you start. You start on an Aries guitar, which is a bolt-on neck version, and you have a front and rear view of the guitar. And you can change these views at any time throughout the build process. And trust me, you'll want to do that because there's a lot of cool stuff you can do on the back of the guitar as well. So let's go ahead and go through all of the features that I'm going to be selecting and checking out in my build. So first you start out with general options. You hit the drop down there and you pick the model that you want. Dexterity, left or right, how many strings you want, multi-scale, scale length, and what kind of case you get. Body options. What's cool here is you can get the bevel on or off the guitar. This is what it looks like without the bevel. I prefer the bevel, it's more comfortable, so I'm going to choose the bevel. So we're going to go ahead and go with that. And so let's go to general options. Let's go through some of the models. Standard or artist signature. I don't want an artist signature. I want my own signature model. So let's go and see what models they have to offer. I'm probably going to end up going with this one, which is the Aries Neck Through. It's got a nice modern look to it. And I love neck through guitars because you have great access to all the higher notes on the guitar. But they do say with the bolt-ons, you still get really good access to the higher notes as well because of the low profile of the bolt-on neck. You hardly even know it's there. It's a very low profile neck joint, which is kind of cool. So let's go ahead and look at that right now. So here's your neck profile on the back. Very, very smooth. So let's switch to the bolt-on and see what that looks like on the back. So the heel joint, they said, is very low. You don't have that giant hump there, so that's kind of cool. But I'm still going to go with the neck through because I just love neck through guitars. My Majesties are all neck through and they feel amazing when I play them. That said, let's do some exploring. Here's a Vanquish. That's a pretty interesting looking guitar there. That's an interesting one as well. Let's see what else they have. There's a Crescent. We'll go through two more. Okay. And let's pick something a little on the crazy side here. Let's look at a Vader. Yeah, those are pretty cool looking guitars as well. Headless Vader. Okay, so we've seen some of the other body styles that are available, but I'm going to stick with the Aries, and I'm going to go with a neck through. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, neck through Aries. Okay, so you can choose the dexterity, which is cool. You can do left-handed or right-handed. That's cool. Strings, let's go with a 7-string because I play 7 strings. And sometimes when you pick certain options, this little warning will come up. It's nothing to worry about. It's just letting you know what could happen if you pick this, and sometimes it'll make the guitar unreturnable or stuff like that. So just make sure you read this before you proceed with certain things so that you're not stuck with something that you don't like. Now you can go multi-scale if you want as well. Now if you notice, when you go multi-scale, the pickups are different. They're slanted. So you have to get specific types of pickups for multi-scale guitars. So make sure if you're going to get different kinds of pickups for your guitar, like if you want to get something that's not supplied by Kiesel and you want to mail those into them for them to route out the guitar and install them for you, make sure that they're made for multi-scale guitars, because again, they're slanted and there's quite a bit of difference between those and standard pickups because of the way the posts are lined up with the strings. So just a little heads up for you, make sure that you get the right pickups for the type of scaling that you're going to have on your guitar. I'm not going to go multi-scale though, because I want to just stick with what I'm used to, which is like the standard type of neck and fretting. So let's go ahead and go to scale length. You can choose 27 or 25.5, that is. I'm going to stick with that, and then you can pick your case. I'm just going to go with a regular soft shell because I'm not going to really use a case. I use a Vault. So let's go with body options. So here's the type of wood you can get. Let's go with the types of wood here. So you have a lot of choices. You have alder, mahogany, black limba, swamp ash, walnut, and koa. Koa is freaking amazing. Let's see what that looks like. That's beautiful. That really is nice. I like koa a lot, but let's see what else they have here, because something to keep in mind, if you're going to go with a top wood, why spend all that money on koa that's going to be buried by a top wood, except for the bevel on top? You know what I mean? So if you're only going to have a little bit of that koa showing, I mean, hey, it's your money, but maybe go with something that is maybe not as expensive. I mean, walnut is beautiful as well. It's a nice dark wood, and it looks great on the back. So let's see what that's like. See, that looks great too. I mean, let's go with a walnut for now. We can always go back and change it if we want. So let me show you a couple other woods just while you're here. Let's see here. Black limba. That looks awesome as well. That's very cool. Man, I might even go with that. Mahogany is what I'm used to. I mean, they're all good. They all look great. You know what? I might go with black limba. That looks pretty cool. All right, so let's go with the top wood. Zebra wood looks nice. Now, something to keep in mind is plan ahead. You can always go back and change things, but something that's cool is you can stain these and have different colors and transparent colors on top that really make the wood pop and bring out all the characteristics in it. So getting something with a lot of character is definitely something that I recommend, because again, when you put that color on there, it really makes that stuff stand out big time. So maybe like a poplar burl. I mean, there's a ton of character in that wood as it is, and then when you have it up against the black limba, you really see a lot of different characteristics there. Something that you want to keep in mind as well is top coat. You see how you get that glare on the guitar? Well, with the satin finish, you don't get as much glare, so now you can see the wood underneath. You can see the body wood better. So maybe take the satin off, but make sure you write yourself a note to put the gloss back on at the end of the build before you hit enter, as far as like ordering the guitar, because you can't make changes after that. So make yourself notes on things that you're going to add and double check on before you basically, you know, finalize your build and hit send to Kiesel, because again, you cannot make any changes afterwards. Once you hit send, you're pretty much stuck with whatever you decided on. So make sure you're sure of everything and take notes. Okay, so a lot of great character going on with the wood in between the body wood and the top wood. So let's go ahead and see what colors are available. There's some really good, I like this one, the blue stain, the blue midnight. God, that looks nice. Look at the contrast there. That looks really freaking cool. So sometimes when you choose other options, depending on the color, you won't be able to do other things. Like, let's see if it'll let me do binding. Yeah, so you cannot pair binding effects with certain stain finishes, and this is one of them. So if you really want to go with binding, then you'll have to go back to the finish here, translucent colors, and maybe pick a different color. The orange burst is also really cool. Look at that. That looks freaking amazing. I love that color. Orange is great because it's different. It's not something you see every day. So let's see if we can do a binding with that. Boom, look at that. Nice 3D kind of look there. You have a nice separation between the top wood and the body wood, and you're separating them by adding another piece of wood in between them, and it gives you this 3D layered look, and it just looks really classy. I really like that a lot. So let's see what the additional options are. You can go with a 3-piece body or not. See how the 3-piece, if I take the 3-piece away, you lose a little bit of that outline in between the top wood and the body, and then I reselect it, and then you can see that layer, that little bit of border there, so that adds even more dimension to the look. So that's actually really nice as well. You can also do a black burst, so if you want to add even more contrast to it, you can do that. You can do a translucent black burst to make it a little more subtle, or you can do a California burst, which is not available with this particular color, but you can do it with other colors. So let's go ahead and see what other colors are available here. Let's see, honey burst. That's nice too. But just remember, sometimes you'll leave some of these other features on, and if you don't like some of them, make sure you remove them. In other words, the translucent black burst edges. So I'll take those away. I like that. It's a cool feature, but I kind of prefer it without it at this point. But you can do the California burst with this particular color. See how it kind of fades it out a little bit? It's kind of nice. So if you want to add a little more dimension to the color, but I like a rich color. So to me, I would rather not have the California burst, but that is really cool if you like that. Again, here's the translucent black burst edges, or the black burst without the translucent, but we're going to forego that. So let's go back to the finishes again. Translucent colors, I still haven't really made up my mind. Here's Cherry Sun. That's kind of nice too. That's a really nice rich color. You know what's cool about some of these burst type colors is if you can't make up your mind on one color, they give you a blend of 2 awesome colors that go really well together, and you can choose that and have the best of both worlds. Let's see what purple looks like. Ooh, that's pretty cool there. That's really nice. I like that a lot. I'm a big fan of purple. Nice crimson red. Vintage burst also looks really cool. So another cool feature is you can do the rear and side finish of the guitar. So in other words, the body wood. You can either keep the body wood natural like it is now, or you can have the shading done to it to match what's going on with the top wood. Like right there. So you can do either way. I kind of like the body wood to look natural because if you look at the horn of the guitar, the bottom horn, it has more depth, and the top of the guitar also has more depth, but I just feel like you get more detail if you leave the body wood of the guitar natural. That's just my opinion, but that's the way I like it. Alright, so now we can go down to neck options. So you can do the neck wood, and it automatically flips the guitar over for you, which is cool. Now, from what I've heard, a 7-piece is the most stable because you have more pieces of wood keeping the neck in line. So as Jeff put it in one of his videos, if one piece of wood decides to start bending a certain way, you have 6 other pieces of wood to fight against it to keep it straight, and so on and so forth. So I would suggest, like what Jeff did, is go with a 7-piece neck. It's going to be the most stable version of the neck that you can get, and it looks really cool as well. So now you can pick different types of woods and things like that, but we'll get to that in a minute. Obviously, number of frets, we want to go 24. Neck profile, you can go with a thinner profile if you want. So I got to call them about that because I got to find out what their other profile is, and I want to make sure. I don't like baseball bat necks, so I'll have to see what that's about, but I'll be calling them about that. And while I'm talking about that, when you're ordering your guitar, and if there's anything that you have questions about or you don't see features on here, make sure you call them before you order your guitar, because sometimes you have to get these features done over the phone. And again, like I said earlier, once you hit submit on this build, you can't call them and change things afterwards. So do not hit submit and then call them afterwards and see if you can add or take things away. You can't. So if you got to call them about any features, then you have to place the order over the phone and just save what you have here. And then you can just read off all the features that you selected here, and they'll add those to the build over the phone with you. Okay, so fingerboard wood. Let's pick different woods here. I'm most likely going to go with ebony, the less color variant, because I want to just keep it black because I think it looks cool. So let's go over some of the other fingerboard woods that are available. Bird's eye maple. Let's see what that looks like. Kind of boring. Roasted flame maple. That looks cool. That always looks cool. Zebra wood. That's awesome. Do a couple more here. Roasted bird's eye maple. That's pretty interesting. Bloodwood. You know, that looks pretty good with those colors that I picked on the top wood there. That might be a good option. I've never had a bloodwood fretboard before. That might be interesting. Let's go with Purple Heart and see what that looks like. That could be interesting as well. Stands out a little too much, but depending on your taste, that could be really cool. For now, I'm going to go ahead and stick with the ebony with less color variation. And like I said earlier, you can always make a note before you hit submit and double check a few things. And I'm going to make a note of that. I got to call them anyways about my pickups. So, but yeah, I'm going to make a note to talk to them about the fretboard and maybe choose a different finger wood, because why not, right? And then you get the radius. You get 14 or 20. 20, I guess, is supposed to be good for faster playing and more modern stuff, so I'm going to go with that because I need all the help I can get. And then you can even pick the shape of inlays that you want. And you can go with the blocks. You can go staggered. You can use the Kiesel logo for your 12th fret. That's kind of cool. And they got diamonds. Regular dots. I'm going to go with just regular dots for now. And then here's the material for your inlays. You can go like a green acrylic. Make them stand out big time. The red is kind of cool. You can really see the fret markers really well there. That's kind of nice. Abalone. That's really cool as well. But I'm going to go lumen lay because I think that looks awesome. I've never had lumen lays, so I'm going to go with that. I'm a function guy when it comes to the fret markers. I'd rather have something really ultra functional than something that's really cool or stylish that you can't see, you know what I mean? So I think with the lumen lays, I get the best of both worlds. I get something that I can see really well, and it's very functional because of that, but it also looks cool. And then the frets, I want to go with stainless jumbo. That's what I've always used. Let's go back up to the neck wood here. 7-piece. So you have two choices with the neck. You have a maple with walnut stripes and whatnot. And then you also have the walnut the Purple Heart. I'm going to go a walnut, Purple Heart, and maple as well. So let's go with that. Walnut, from what Jeff Kiesel has consistently said, is the most stable. So I'm going to go with the most stable. I hate doing neck adjustments all the time. I want a real stable neck, and, you know, it doesn't hurt that it looks cool as well. So let's go with Headstock Shape. This is kind of what I'm used to. Let's flip the guitar around. It's kind of what I'm used to on my Majesty Monarchy guitars. I got 4 on top, 3 on the bottom. But let's see what else they have. Maybe they have something that would be more appealing. There's a reverse. From what I hear, reverse headstocks are actually better for staying in tune, but I don't know if that's just some myth or what, but that does look pretty cool as well. I mean, I figure if I'm going to do this once, I might as well get something unique, right? As opposed to getting the same old, same old. So maybe I will get something unique this time. There's a reverse pointed. That's kind of cool. That's 3 on top, 4 on the bottom. Pointed angled reverse. That's a little dated for me. I'm not going to go with that. So it's kind of between the reverse inline or what I'm used to. And maybe I should stick with what I'm used to because it's a functional thing. Yeah, for now I'm going to stick with what I'm used to. Because, you know, tuning guitars, you tune them a lot, so you don't want to be reaching for things and like, oh, that's right, that's over here or whatever. Headstock finish. I'm just going to go with whatever. I want it to match the top wood, so I'm just going to stick with that. Truss rod cover. You can even pick your truss rod cover. You can do the red tortoise shell. That sticks out too much. I'm probably going to end up going with ebony because that's cool. Why have plastic when you can have ebony, right? It matches the fretboard. But you can do Purple Heart if you want. Purple Heart's cool because I'm going to do Purple Heart on the back on some spots. So maybe that would be a cool theme to carry over to the front. But for now, I'm going to stick with ebony. And electronic options. Now I'm going to go with, you know, my own pickups, so I'm not going to choose any pickups here. Pickup configuration is going to be 2 humbuckers. You can pick all these other configurations if you want, but I'm going to stick with that. Additional options. Acoustic saddles, in other words, the piezo. Hell yeah, I'm doing piezo. That's going to be awesome. I love piezo. So we're going to go ahead and choose a bridge now. I have to have a whammy bar, so I'm going to go with that. There we go. And just so you know, it is a floating trem. I called them, and I didn't know if I had to pick a different trem over the phone, but they said our trems are all floating. That's pretty much standard. And while we're on the subject of standard features, locking tuners also come standard on all of their guitars. Okay, so hardware color. Let's go with black. I want the hardware. Yeah, that looks freaking awesome. Now it gets out of the way of the guitar and lets all the wood and the different colors I chose to really stand out and not be distracted by all this shiny hardware. So I like that a lot. I'll go with the black Graphtec nut. Strap buttons. I mean, you can pick everything. This is insane. You can go with the different tuners. White pearled ones. That's going to be a huge no for me, though. Okay, so electronics cavity cover. Flips the guitar over for you automatically. I'm going with Purple Heart because I think that looks awesome. And let's go with the tremolo cover. Purple Heart there as well. Why not have all the colors, right? Okay, so there's my guitar so far. Okay, there's the back. There's the front. I think it looks awesome. The thing that's cool about this, though, is that this is one of the only types of guitars that when you show it to people, they all want to see the back as well, because it's almost like showing them two different guitars, because the front and back are completely different on most of these builds, and everybody wants to see the back. With all the other guitars that you buy, everybody just looks at the front. No one says, hey, flip it over, let's see what you did on the back, you know? So it's kind of cool. Do some crazy stuff on the back, because when do you ever get a chance to do something like this? I mean, it's just freaking awesome. All right, so we're at 37.79 at 756 down with the current status of this build. So now let's go back and double check everything. Okay, so go back to body options, colors. I want to make sure I'm happy with this color. And it's cool because where the K is, that's where you're at. That's the particular option or color that you chose. So you don't have to remember, what was that again? It's right here. So let's pick out some other stuff that's kind of, you know, different and see if maybe something else catches my eye here. That's the Aqua Burst. That's really cool. And that purple still, oh my god, that's gorgeous. That is really nice. I like that so much. But I do have a purple guitar. Sapphire blue. See what the tobacco looks like. Yeah, that's cool. A little on the muted side, but it's cool. Classic Sunburst, that's also really cool. Crimson Red, I got a red guitar already. Let's look at some yellows. That's kind of nice. Orange. The thing is, again, when you pick one color, you're kind of stuck with one color, so you better hope you really like that. And that is cool. But having the burst colors, to me, is a little better because you get the best of both worlds. There's the Honey Burst. That is really nice. Really rich and warm. It's got a really nice color tone to it. I like that a lot. Orange Burst. And the Orange Burst. I think it's down between Honey, Orange Burst, and Classic Burst, or Vintage Burst, that is. Vintage Yellow. Sometimes when you make changes, you'll have to go back and undo some things because it'll change the body wood. And you just got to go back and change that real quick. No big deal. Yeah, I like the body wood to remain natural because, again, at that horn, that bottom horn there, you get more depth. Okay, so flip this over. Let's change the body wood one more time here. Let me make sure I got what I want. Let's see, walnut. Oh, that walnut still looks really nice. Let's flip that over. Yeah, that looks great. I could go either way. Walnut or, what was the other one I got? What was that? Black Limba? See what that looks like on the back again. I guess if I go with Black Limba, now I got all these different woods going on, and that'll be really cool. So if you're going to call them, make sure when you talk to them and you discuss the types of woods that you're blending together as tone woods, make sure that they're a good match. You know, get their opinion on that because they've built pretty much everything, every kind of combination you can think of. So make sure you discuss the tone woods that you chose and ask them if they have any advice for you regarding how well they blend together, because sometimes maybe they're not a good blend. And I mean, I know it's very subjective, but at least you can find out if, you know, it's going to sound too bright or too dark or whatever, depending on the woods that you chose and how you combine them. All right, so now that we're double checking everything, I just want to interject something really quick here. I picked a color that I'm happy with. I love this color. I think it's going to look amazing. So now that I like this color so much, let's make sure I pick the right top wood to go with this color, because it really does matter. Like, this color will look better on certain top woods than it would on others, and some of them will really pop and look amazing with this color. So let's see if I can even enhance this color more by picking a different top wood. So right now I have the Buckeye Burl. Let's see what it looks like with the Black Limba. That looks really good. I mean, they're all going to look good. It just depends on what you're going for. What about the Flamed Spalted Maple? That looks really good as well. Quilted Maple. Quilted always looks amazing. That's freaking awesome there. Flame Maple. Swamp Ash. That's pretty boring. Zebra. That looks nice. Almost looks like koa now with that coloring on it. Poplar. Ooh. Wow, that looks really cool. I really like that a lot. Burled maple. Oh wow. Look at that. It looks like an orange storm going on inside the wood. That looks really amazing. Let's go back to the Buckeye now and see if I'm sure. Okay, the Buckeye looks good. Now, I think I might have to change my mind. Poplar? Ooh, wow. You know what? The Poplar is better. I'm glad I did this, because the Poplar looks better. It actually is the best of both worlds between the two different burled maple, you know, with all that electric storm kind of stuff going on, and the Buckeye. The Buckeye almost seems a little boring in comparison to the Poplar. Oh yeah, so much depth and character there. Yep, there it is. That's what I'm going with. So I guess that's pretty much my build. I think it looks freaking amazing. I'm really excited about this, and I can't wait to call them and discuss the additional features that I'm going to get regarding having the tone knob removed, because I'm definitely going to have that removed. I don't use a tone knob at all, so I'm going to have that taken off, and I'm also going to be talking to them about the pickups that I'm going to mail them so that they can install them and route out the guitar accordingly for those pickups. Nothing against Kiesel pickups, it's just I like the ones that are on my Majesty guitars so much that I just want to stick with those because they're freaking amazing. So there you go, guys. That's what I'm going to end up getting. I just think this guitar looks freaking awesome, and I can't wait to get it and do an unboxing and play it for you guys and tell you what I think of it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much to all the subscribers. Really appreciate you guys immensely. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, because I got a lot of great stuff coming up, and I'll see you on the next one.